Om Sri Ramana. Some question and answers from Aham Sphurana, a glimpse of self-realization. Chadwick asking, Vasanas are a decisive obstacle to self-realization, a repeated and continuous practice of which are roots out the vasanas and liberation is ultimately gained. So far it is clear. Can Bhagavan please tell me how the vasanas arose out of what was originally pure subjective consciousness? Bhagavan replying, the idea that vasanas are at present irrevocably tied together with consciousness and that removing them through sadhana involves splitting these two ordinarily intertwined components of mind is an incorrect understanding. Vasanas are seed-like impressions that direct consciousness along the narrow, finite channel known as the intellect. Vasanas are tiny, insentient, imaginary layers that appears to have gathered atop the self and prevent it from shining. They are neither real nor natural. The being is real. You may dive into or submerge yourself in the shining of the heart and forget about destroying the vasanas. Abiding in that state in which mind has permanently been rendered one and identical with the beingness of the self, one need not worry about the fact that the mind is yet to die a conclusive death. Let Grandhinasam, means destruction of the knot, happen when it is destined to happen. You remain attending to ensuring absence of promiscuity of thought, and that is enough. When thoughts about vasanas perturb you, see whose vasanas they are. Chadwick, the self is the Almighty. Such tiny vasanas are able to obscure it. Bhagavan, the obscuration is self-notional only. There is no ignorance in fact. At whilst vasanas remain, the final state will never be gained. The master read out from Kaivalyanavanitam, that means Advaita classic in Tamil, this whole thing called the vasana, the never-ending temptation to indulge in enjoyment of sensual and sensuous worldly objects, is the bright indicator of the existence of the ignorance, which is the root cause of the so-called cycles of sorrowful births and deaths. Samsara means a cycle of birth and death caused by karma, whereas the bright indicator of true knowledge is desireless. Ignorance means identifying oneself with non-self. By this means the ego is caused to be developed. So also the doer and the enjoyer, the jiva, the individual self. Thus the only obstacle that blocks realization of the true self is this foul thing called vasana, which blocks it like dark clouds in a rainy season block the brightest sun. The ego or aham vritti means pure I am feeling, produces the enjoyment thought patterns called sankalpas, means will. Sankalpas, when they are fully fattened, themselves become the bundles of desire stored in the form of vasanas, the evil storehouses of desire in the memory location of the jiva. When relevant or appropriate place and time come, these fitted vasanas one by one tempt the jiva to jump into the noxious ocean of never-ending, evoke painful actions and reactions, and make him reap the results thereof, the sorrows and perturbations, the births and deaths of samsara. Vasana prakshyo mokshaha, the complete eradication or destruction of vasana or the memory pattern of desires is called emancipation. Due to the gigantic size and immense resistance of the heap of vasanas accumulated in the memory of the jiva, the negative potency of mental impressions accumulated over countless hundreds of thousands of past incarnations forcibly pull the aspirant outwardly towards the enjoyments of sensuous and sensual objects. So it becomes natural to the mind to run outwardly, to fall into the deep ditch of sensuous and sensual enjoyments. With the mighty power of Vivegam, that means prudence, and Vairagya means detachment, the extroverted mind is stopped, introverted, subjugated, and made to stay relentlessly, persistently, ever on the self, the witness. This is true sadhana. Chadwick seemed overjoyed with the detailed explanation furnished by the master. He bowed his imposing frame low before the master, thanked and interpreted, and left the hall. Om Shanti.